just documents everywhere. Hello, caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, hello. What's the evidence on Madrid? How did the CIA do the bombings in Madrid?
I suggest, as I said, it's taken me 5 hours on the radio to go over it, but it's key evidence. I have articles right here in the stack where the people they claim, the Al-Qaeda guy that ran it, they claim, has been in a safe house for 3 years, even before 9/11, outside London, and works for MI6. And the government was saying the attack was about to happen. Witnesses saw government people involved, just hundreds of pieces of evidence.
Okay, thank you.
Does that answer your question?
Not really.
Have you ever heard of the... Oh, you don't have a question? Well, I mean, look, I know it's all a soundbite world for you. So if you don't want to hear the radio show, and you don't want to hear the guest, and you don't want to go to the website and read probably 50 news articles we've posted on this, the major Spanish papers saying that people are protesting, saying the government did it, all the evidence. I mean, if you just want to go, okay, thank you, I mean, I have the official government documents where they plan to hijack jets and crash them, to bomb D.C., to commit sniper attacks, Operation Northwoods, ABC News, Baltimore Sun, all the documents on that. People still don't want to believe it. In fact, let me just dig out some of the articles for you about Madrid. We've only got about 18 minutes left. I'll have poor Mike running here over and over again because I got here late. Didn't even have time to go through my articles and get them all straight in order. I just grabbed them off the radio desk. Mike, I can't even see the clock. Will you move it over for me? Poor guy. No, that's U.S. unloading weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. No, that's Mel Gibson saying that he doesn't really like Bush and thinks he's lying about weapons of mass destruction. That's DOD attempting to plant weapons of mass destruction. Yeah, thanks, Mike. That's Disney World putting the thumb scanners in. That's Reuters. That's a big Reuters article in here where people think the government did it. That's just where they think the government did it, the big mass protest. But officials probe Spain, Morocco. Spain announces 5 arrests, just the usual patsies. Trying to find that article. We even posted another one today. It's a long one, very detailed. Socialist out. Here's one where they threw the ruling party out after the bombing. Didn't work too well for them. Ooh, I'm glad you called because I would never have remembered I had all these news articles I wanted to get to. Here's one. Now the Moscow Times, you hear Moscow Times, you're not going to want to believe this. But the BBC, and we have whole sections, it's in the MI5, MI6, Her Majesty's Terrorist Network section, and I published a book on the subject by Paul Joseph Watson. I'm the publisher of it. But the BBC, London Guardian, Associated Press, and others have reported on this. We have a whole archive on it. But the article I have for you tonight, just because it was in the stack I grabbed, this is out of the Moscow Times, posted on prisonplanet.com. U.S. harbored terrorist to bolster its case. And it just gets into how they claim they assassinate somebody. They claim they have them. They've killed them. And then it turns out they're working for them. And that's Abu Musab al-Javari, and it turns out he's been, living in their safe houses. And this is who they claimed ran the terror bombings in Madrid. And they'll bust some Al-Qaeda leader. We've got a whole archive on this on the site. And then quietly, people go, wait a minute, that's the CIA. And they quietly release them and go, okay, we had to, couldn't blow their cover. It was one of our agents. So the Moscow Times gets into all of that again. I've got some more. I had a couple more here in the stack. I'm trying to find them. But, sir, if you want just a simple soundbite on an issue, then I really can't do it here for you. I suggest you research and go look at it for yourself. But, hey, give your liberties up. Governments have killed 200 million people in the last century, 20th century, so give your liberties up to them and go hand scan at HEB and thumb scan at Wally World and at at SeaWorld and just let the tethered blimps look through your walls and the thumb scanners in the public schools, training them for that. And just go along with it, and everything will be fine. Because I wish you'd have stayed on and told me how you disagreed. Just the simperingness of your voice, I picked up the whole spirit of what you're up to. Go ahead.
Love your show, Alex.
Hey, how you doing?
The Tim Russert interview with Bush, and he brought up the skull and bones. He said a number, 322. I was wondering where that came from. And you also mentioned a book, Magellan. What was the name of that? McKellen.
I'm sure you've heard when something's got a lot of subterfuge and Byzantine, cloak and dagger angles that it's that's Machiavellian.
Machiavellian, right?
Well, so that's that's like saying that's McCarthyite. They're pluralizing it, or like a system.
You said a particular book.
Yeah, The Prince.
Machiavellian Prince.
Well, no, Machiavellian's the plural. It's Machiavelli's The Prince. I don't know what that is. What is that on this? Oh, that's the Libertarian website here locally? Oh, okay, for shots. That's a site Mike says is good. I don't have any knowledge of it, but I'm sure it's fine. But thank you.
But the 322?
Yeah, again, the earlier guy called in. I mean, how can I even talk about Skull and Bones?
I'm going to hang up. I love you.
All right, thanks. I mean, how can I even get into Skull and Bones and do it justice? How can I get into 9/11 and do it justice in this format? That's why I make documentaries, why I write books, why we play them here. I remember 8 years ago telling you about Skull and Bones. God call in, doesn't exist, you're a liar, shut up. Where's your proof? Well, go read these 10 books and these public statements and the memoirs of these presidents. You've got to do that. That's what I do. I don't watch football. And, they've announced they're in Skull and Bones and 322. There was, in 322, in the year 322, a Greek philosopher died. And they claim that's what it is, but also it's chapter 322. They're obsessed with numerology, and also 322 in Genesis. They said that's what it has to do with, where the devil says, "I'll give you, everlasting life. You'll be born again," because that's what they do. They do this ritual where they're born again, and Lucifer possesses them. And again, if you don't believe that, Francois Mitterrand, at the Louvre had that gold pyramid built, and he demanded by the U.S. architect, the Chinese-American architect, that it have 666 gold pieces of glass in it. Pieces. And, Tony Blair, Times of London Guardian last week, channeling the light to get his answers. And I've been to Bohemian Grove. I mean, I've covered it. I've done it. And, I still hear talk show hosts nationally and locally say, I'm a raving loon, there's no skull and bones, they don't get in coffins. I mean, they're still saying it. Oh, fine, okay, it's not true. It's not true. I just at a certain point, it's just overload. Let's go ahead and take another call. Hello, caller, go ahead.
Good evening, Alex.
How you doing?
Doing fine, thank you. I caught your show about halfway through tonight, so you may have already covered this, but did you hear of the Masonic initiate in New York State that got shot in the head during the initiation?
Yeah, he was in Long Island.
And what do you know of that?
Well, I spent an hour on the radio about it. And let me try to answer the question as quickly as possible. And again, I'm not being persnickety or irritable with you guys. I'm just tired, and all these questions are so good, and I can spend so much time on it. What's bigger is that if you do a Google search on accidental Masonic shootings during rituals, you'll find quite a few. And we posted some of those. And we have a photo on the website in last week's archive with a guy in a normal Klan outfit with a pointed hat next to a guy with a pirate hat and a skull and bones. And they have that same pirate motif, and they wear the pointed hats at Bohemian Grove. That's all Masonic. The Klan, the Masons, Bohemian Grove, Skull and Bones, it's all different Masonic offshoots of the same order. Higher level Masonry. The low level Masons don't know what's going on. It's the higher level compartments of the pyramid that know what's going on. That's their structure. That's their symbol. And the police went in there, most of them Masons, of course, Within an hour and a half last week, last Monday in Long Island, they said, oh, it's an accident. And the guy's out on like $2,400 bail. And they had him chained up on the black altar with the skulls, guillotined.